Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Overwatch's Halloween Terror 2017 event, going for the Survivor achievement. This one can be done whenever Junkenstein Endless is going to be available in the arcade. This one is going to be done on the Expert difficulty, so make sure you set it to that. This achievement is to basically make it through a game of Junkenstein Endless on Expert difficulty, surviving up to the first 4 bonus waves. So we're going to stick to our classic team of McCree, Soldier 76, Torbjorn, and Zenyatta. Make sure you get into the game. So if you are new to the mode, this is going to be your basic setup. You want to make sure you have the Torbjorn player head over to the overturned cart in the middle. They're going to pop their turret right there. Soldier 76 is going to hang out on the leftmost lane. The McCree player is going to hang back and then pop guys from far away. Then finally, the Zenyatta player is going to hang out directly in front of the McCree. They're going to pop up a healing orb on top of the Soldier 76 and then move it around if anyone else needs health. So just make sure you try your best to defend all 3 lanes right here, and then we are going to get a new obstacle every single wave. So wave 1 is going to have a Reaper come in, and he's going to pop up towards the end of the wave, so you should have a little bit of time to get adjusted to the oncoming enemies. Do keep in mind, we are doing this on Expert difficulty, so the enemies are going to hit pretty hard, so make sure the Reaper comes down, and then make sure you try to take care of him, especially before the next wave gets started. A key to do well in Junkenstein's Endless is to try to deal with the boss characters as soon as they pop up, because what's going to happen is if the next wave starts and they are still on the board, and you don't take care of them super quickly, they can start stacking with the next set of scripted events, and you don't want to be dealing with multiple things all at once, especially later on when you get way more boss spawns in the following waves. Wave 2 is going to contain our first set of tires. There's going to be 3, so make sure you have your team call out for them, as you also are going to need to protect the door. You can do this achievement with the door still getting damaged, although you definitely don't want it to take too much damage, especially early on, since we do need the thing to last all the way up to the bonus waves. So try your best to protect it from all of the tires, but a missed tire isn't going to be the end of the world or anything. So make sure you have everyone hang back, and make sure you try to pop the tires from far away, and then if you do miss, try to get them right before they hit the door, and that way you should be good.
The ground shook as Dr. Junkenstein's creation.
Alright, Wave 3 is going to introduce us to our first Junkenstein's monster. If you are familiar with this enemy type, he is going to have a ton of health and is going to hit very hard. As soon as he spawns, make sure you don't get too distracted by him. Watch out for the tire that also spawns. Take that out, and then make sure you start focusing on the Junkenstein monster. If the McCree player has their ultimate, make sure you have them use it to do a ton of damage to the monster, and a good Torbjorn ultimate can also finish it off, and then also do a pretty good job of clearing out the normal zombies.
As the battle raged, Dr. Junkenstein himself made a grand appearance.
So towards the start of Wave 4, we're going to get the next boss in the form of Dr. Junkenstein himself. Again, just like before, make sure you be very careful. As soon as he spawns, make sure you try to keep an eye out for the next shock tire. Make sure you take care of the one shock tire that appears, and then you should be safe to pursue the Junkenstein. So just make sure you take care of that, and then just turn your focus on the Junkenstein. You definitely want to have Torbjorn do the bulk of the work for this, since the McCree player is probably still working on building up their ultimate. But Junkenstein is going to go down rather quickly, especially if you have the turret on that overturned cart. Combined with a Torbjorn ultimate aimed at the ledge, he's going to go down in a few seconds or so.
The Wanderers had beaten back Dr. Junkenstein's initial attacks, but their ordeal had only just begun.
Wave number 5, we're going to have 2 Reapers and a Tire. You're going to deal with 1 Reaper at a time. So Reaper's going to come in. Highly recommend using McCree's stun grenade in order to try to stun him, and then everyone else can unload on him really quickly. Make sure you have the Torbjorn players start to back up if they're taking heavy fire, and then make sure you also try to keep an eye out for that Tire that appears. Hopefully you can take care of it before the second Reaper shows up, but once he does, same thing. Make sure you try to have the McCree player stun him, and then make sure you try to take him out quickly before he gets his ultimate off, because an ultimate from a Reaper is going to deal a ton of damage to all of the players who are trying to hold the door.
The air became charged with the arcane as the summoner appeared in their midst.
All right, wave number 6. This is going to be the halfway point of the 12 main waves. You're going to have to deal with the Summoner. Summoner is going to pop in and then pop up her barrier down. Thankfully, if the Torbjorn player remembered to put their turret on the overturned cart, she's going to tend to get distracted by it, so I'm going to recommend the McCree player move up and then use his ultimate in order to take out the Summoner as quickly as possible. She's going to have a pretty chunky health bar, so it's better to deal with her pretty early. You're also going to have 3 tires on this wave, so make sure you try to take her out early and then get everyone back to the front of the door to watch out for those tires. And then, of course, you can also have the Torbjorn player hang back if you need help with your patrols or trying to keep up on the normal enemy kills. Now, very important that if you get to this wave done early, you want to make sure the McCree player starts to build up his ultimate. So make sure you use the rest of this wave and the start of next wave in order to build up McCree's ultimate, because it is going to come in handy for the next few waves or so.
Junkenstein's monster had come.
So for wave number 7, you're going to be dealing with 2 Junkenstein's monsters. You're going to need to try to take them out as quickly as possible, but you definitely want to have the McCree player resist the urge to use his ultimate. The reason for that is you're going to want to save it for wave number 8, as you're going to be dealing with the boss rush. So try to have the McCree player hang back and then try to take out the normal enemies, especially the Zombardiers, as they're going to do a ton of damage to the players who are hunkered down by the door. Hopefully the other players can manage to take out the 2 Junkenstein's monsters pretty quickly. There are going to be no tires on this wave, thankfully, so you should be able to focus on taking them out. Once the 2 Roadhogs are taken care of, what you want to do is you want to make sure you have the McCree player and the Soldier 76 player take up position up here in the left lane. You want to make sure the Soldier 76 is watching the McCree's back and taking out any Zombardiers that may show up. You also want to have the McCree player have their ultimate ready and then just quickly take out any of these Zombardiers that show up. As soon as the boss rush spawns, make sure you use McCree's ultimate. Your goal, of course, is to try to take out the Mercy as quickly as possible, as you don't want her healing the other 2 bosses. And you should be able to also deal a significant amount of damage to both the Roadhog and the Junkenstein from up here. So try your best to get the most out of McCree's ultimate. You should be able to take out the Junkenstein really quickly and then get everyone back to the door, and then everyone's just going to unload on the Roadhog, and then you can finish him off really quickly as well. So the best spot for that McCree ultimate is going to be up there on the left lane, but of course you do have to have the other players watch the McCree's back, as a Zombardier Blast is going to cancel out McCree's ultimate. So try your best to protect McCree's ultimate at all costs, because that is going to be a huge difference maker during those boss waves.
For the briefest of moments, the relentless pace of Dr. Junkenstein's advance slowed. But the worst was yet to come.
So for these next 2 waves, you definitely want to have the McCree player focus on building their ultimate back up, as you are going to need it for the next boss rush wave. So make sure you keep that in mind. You're going to be dealing with 3 Reapers and 1 Tire. The first Tire should appear during the first Reaper fight, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Quickly take out the Reaper. Remember, McCree's stun grenades are going to be very useful there. Try your best to kill the Reapers as quickly as possible. Remember, the Reaper is going to throw off their ultimate as soon as they get 4 of their phases in. So make sure you count off the phases and try to take out the Reaper before it can get its 4th phase off. Otherwise, it's going to hit its ultimate and more likely than not kill everyone who's going to be near the door. That's going to bring us in to wave number 10. We're going to be dealing with 2 Symmetras and 3 tires. The Symmetra is going to pop up. Again, having that Torbjorn turret on the overturned card is going to be super helpful, as the Symmetra is always going to get distracted by it. So she's going to jump down and then go after the turret, and then make sure you try to have people move up and then quickly take her out. Her health bar is going to be really chunky, so if a McCree can land a quick stun grenade, you can take her out really quickly. Have the McCree player fight the urge to use their ultimate here. Back up and make sure you try to get back on tire duty, so make sure you try to look for the first few tires and take them out. Remember, there are going to be 3 you have to deal with. The second Symmetra is going to pop up. Make sure you don't get too distracted by her, and make sure you stick to patrolling those tires. Remember, there's going to be 3 of them. Hopefully, the Torbjorn can get their turret back up and distract the Symmetra. If not, she's going to make a run for the door, but make sure you don't get overly distracted by her until all 3 tires are dealt with. Once they are taken care of, make sure everyone gets back to the door, and then everyone can take her out really quickly. A Torbjorn ultimate is going to be very helpful here. And of course, Zenyatta can throw up their ultimate as a last-ditch resort, and Soldier 76's ultimate is going to be great for clearing up the normal enemies.
Junkenstein was not yet finished. His monster rose again.
Now, for Wave 11, you're going to be dealing with 2 Roadhogs and 1 Tire. You are also going to need to have the McCree player build up their ultimate for this wave, as the next wave is going to be the boss rush. So I'm going to recommend the 3 players deal with the Roadhogs, and the McCree player is going to work on the normal enemies while keeping an eye out for that Tire. Make sure the McCree has their ultimate, and make sure they save it for the next wave. Once that Tire is taken care of, everyone can start focusing on the Roadhogs. And then as the wave is inching towards its end, you definitely want to make sure you clear out the Roadhogs, as you don't want too many Roadhogs on the map by the time you start the next wave. So once the Roadhogs are dealt with, we are going to slowly settle into the next wave. Make sure the left lane is clear of any Zombardiers, and McCree and Soldier 76 are going to take position on the left lane again. Make sure the Soldier 76 is watching McCree's back, and make sure any Zombardiers are taken care of. Then once the boss rush spawns, make sure the McCree player activates their ultimate. Hopefully they can hit everyone and get the most out of it. Of course, you are always focused on trying to get rid of the Mercy as quickly as possible, but a perfect McCree ultimate should also deal a significant amount of damage, where you can take out the Junkenstein in only a few hits, and then everyone's just going to unload on the Roadhog. Be very careful, there's also 2 tires during this boss rush, so make sure you try to keep an eye out for those amidst all the chaos, and you should be able to have a pretty safe time. So hopefully the bosses go down rather quickly, and you can get those tires, and then we are going to clean up the regular waves and then move on to the bonus waves.
Come over here and get healed. The Wanderers had held the doors long enough for the castle's denizens to flee.
Alright, bonus wave number 1, you're going to be dealing with 3 Reapers and 2 Tires. I'm going to recommend the McCree player split up from the group, so have them position up on the left lane to try to build up their ultimate until the first Reaper shows up. Then once Reaper drops down, you're going to have the McCree player slowly move up. This way it ensures that if the Reaper does deal a ton of damage to the players positioned at the door, the McCree player can come in as a backup. Remember, stun grenades are going to be very useful here. Also, make sure you keep an eye out for those Tires in the midst of the Reaper fights. They're going to more likely than not pop up during the middle between the Reapers, so make sure you try to look out for them. Next Reaper is going to show up. A Torbjorn ultimate is going to be great for cleaning up the door, but McCree's stun grenades is going to buy everyone a ton of time to take out the Reapers super duper quickly. Of course, you do kind of have to switch on and off between the regular enemies and dealing with the Reapers. Make sure you prioritize those Zombardiers, as the damage is going to start stacking up, especially if the Reapers start to get too close for comfort, and then you should be able to get through that wave a-okay. Bonus wave 2 is going to have 2 Symmetras and 5 Tires. So, same strategy before. Make sure the Torbjorn has their turret up on the cart. That way the Symmetra gets distracted. Quickly take out the first Symmetra so everyone can get back to tire duty. So have the McCree player move up and then quickly deal with her. Watch out for those Tires. You don't want them sneaking past you. There are going to be a ton of them, so make sure you try to keep an eye out for all 5. Second Symmetra is going to show up. Hopefully that turret's a-okay, and then same thing. Move up, stun grenade, and then Torbjorn's ultimate's also going to be very helpful with dealing with her chunky health bar. But again, make sure you watch out for those Tires. You don't want them creeping up on you and blasting the door when it's this late into the game. So, if you can manage to get through that, we're going to have bonus wave 3. No tires for this one, but you're going to have to deal with a triple Junkenstein's monster. So, you're going to have a ton of guys to deal with right here. Again, try your best to finish them before they can transition over to the next wave, because you don't want a triple stack of Junkenstein to stack with the boss rush.
Junkenstein's monster had come. The monster reappeared.
Right before the monsters drop in, make sure the McCree player has their ultimate. They're going to need it for the last wave we need for the achievement. Have the McCree player fight their urge to use it against the monsters, though, so stick to stun grenades and have everyone else use their ultimate. Torbjorn's ultimate is going to be very useful for holding this side of the bridge, and of course Soldier 76 is going to be the main damage dealer. Try your best to keep the McCree player as safe as possible. If things start to get a little dicey, make sure you have the Zenyatta throw up their ultimate, which is going to be a great way of keeping everyone in front of the door safe. Make sure you try not to let the Roadhogs have their ultimates stack, which was going to bounce everyone all over the place, and you should be able to take them out. That's going to bring us to the last wave of the achievement. Remember, your goal isn't to take out all of the bosses, it is to just run the clock out, as the timer is going to be the thing that determines if we clear the wave or not. A McCree ultimate is going to be very helpful right here, but remember, you're trying to use it to deal with the majority of the enemies. But if you can, try to take out the Mercy. You're dealing with 2 Mercies in this wave, so make sure you do keep that in mind. Take them both out as soon as they pop up. We only have 1 tire to deal with, so make sure you prioritize that if the door is really low. Torbjorn's ultimate is going to be very helpful right here for watching the door for the normal enemies, but try your best to keep everyone alive and also to hold that door. If the door is going to be at full health, you just want to try to focus on keeping the regular enemies off of it. Don't let the Junkenstein's monster's ultimate bounce everyone around, because that's not going to be really good if everyone starts to get separated. And make sure you keep an eye out on that door health, but the important thing is trying to get that timer to 0, because if you can get to 0, that will clear the wave, and that should get us our achievement as soon as we get into bonus wave 5. Once you get there, you should be good for the achievement. 15 gamer score for this one, and that's all there is to it.